We shared last time that we were with you that our ultimate goal was to get Damar back home to his amazing family and the broader Buffalo family. Well, Dr. Pritz and I are thrilled and proud on behalf of UC to report to you that Damar Hamlin has been released and returned to Buffalo. I traveled with him to the airport this morning with our UC Health Air Care and Mobile Care crew, including teammates who were with us on the field when Damar Hamlin collapsed. He landed safely and as standard as anybody who has gone through what he's gone through this past week. And certainly after flying on a plane, he is going to be observed and monitored to ensure that there's no impact on the flight of his condition or on his lungs. Dr. Pritz and I have spoken extensively with his care team in Buffalo, and I can confirm that he is doing well. And this is the beginning of the next stage of his recovery. As Kristen noted, Tim and I are representing the many, many individuals and teams who have cared for Damar over the past week. This includes our EMS, our emergency medicine, trauma surgery, cardiology, critical care, neurocritical care, all of our amazing nurses, respiratory therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, pharmacists, you name it. I could keep going. There are many, many people that had a hand in Damar's successful recovery to this point. And as a team, our collective focus from day one has been keeping Damar at the center to ensure a good outcome for him. Since our last update to you, Damar Hamlin has met a number of key milestones on his journey to recovery. I believe when Dr. Pritz and I last met, Damar was still intubated and on a ventilator. Obviously, since then, he has been extubated and has gone through a weaning of his oxygen. He has been up with physical therapy and occupational therapy, walking the unit, tolerating a regular diet, meeting with his family and many members of the care team that wanted to see how he was doing, all to get him to this point that he could be safely returned to Buffalo. And so at this point, I think that we're comfortable opening up to questions, anything that anybody may have at this point. But thank you all for your well wishes, not only for Damar, but also for our team here at UC. It truly has been felt. So I think we're in the same place that we were in the last discussion, is that it is entirely too premature to discuss not only his football. It's that we're really focused on his day-to-day recovery. He still has a little bit of a ways to go in terms of his ongoing recovery. We're thrilled to where he is today. He's up, he's walking around, he's got an amazing, genuine sense of humor, and his family is amazing, and we're happy he's with them. But in terms of any kind of conjecture to his future, that's still significantly into the future, and it's going to be up to Damar and a great team of physicians to help him.
Certainly a great question, and neither are we, to be candid. We continue to be ecstatic about his recovery. And as Bill mentioned, when we started all this, what we told his parents is the only thing that mattered was the patient in the bed and getting him back to him and his family and to his community. So we anticipate that he will undergo, an ongoing series of tests and evaluations to determine the etiology of what caused the incident on Monday night and to treat any pathology that may be found. Yeah, I think he walked his first lap on Friday.
On Friday, wow.
Yeah, breathing tube came out, just to clarify the timeline a little bit. The breathing tube came out early Friday morning, and he's continued to make good progress since, but worked with physical therapy and had assisted walks with the nursing staff on Friday, continuing to regain strength. He's certainly on what we consider a very normal to even accelerated trajectory from the life-threatening event that he underwent. But is making great progress.
And actually, one more for me. What does that recovery process look like next? What are we looking at him needing to do specifically next?
The goal for every patient who suffered a serious illness or injury is to help them to return as close to baseline as possible. So we anticipate that he would have likely ongoing needs. Whether it is therapy or, at working with different specialists to get him as close to where he really can be. But, again, to echo what we talked about on Thursday, he appears to be neurologically completely intact, and there's no reason to believe that he won't continue his path to recovery.
I guess
that's a great question. And to, answer the first part of that, yes, he was in our surgical intensive care unit until transfer. From our standpoint, we wanted him to reach the criteria that allowed us to upgrade his condition from critical to either fair or good. And when he was able to meet those criteria this morning, we felt that it was safe and proper to help get him back to the greater Buffalo area. In general, we want to ensure that each organ system is stable to improving, and that he needs a minimum amount of assistance such that he does not need intensive nursing. And we have some awesome rock star nurses who've been with him from the beginning. But he no longer needs that level of nursing care, no longer needs intensive respiratory therapy from our respiratory care practitioners, and is able to then move to a setting where he would be have less intensive care.
One more, if I could indulge you. So you didn't speak to where he is, but could he go home? Like, would you be comfortable if he were home?
I think our goal for every patient is that they get home. Somewhat, we've dealt with circumstances before where we're repatriating patients to their home areas. And from our standpoint, the best way to do that is to arrange the next steps in his recovery at a local hospital, where he'll then see the experts there, start to obtain his medical care from them, and then make a transition back to home. No, that's a great question. So we have permission from him and his family to let you know that he did watch the game on Sunday. He was beyond excited and feels very supported by the outpouring of love from across the league, and especially from the Buffalo area. We've learned this week that the Bills Mafia is a very real thing, and we all feel the love from you all in Western New York. But he watched the game on yesterday. When the opening kickoff was run back, he jumped up and down, got out of his chair, set, I think, every alarm off in the ICU in the process. But he was fine. It was just appropriate reaction to a very exciting play. So he very much enjoyed it and enjoys the support from everyone. I think it's too premature to speculate with that. He's making great progress. Again, his brain, and neurological function is really normal. And so, right now it's just a young man recovering from a very serious illness. And we think that he will, recover well from this, and he has a great positive attitude. He originally asked, who had, won. And, his answer now to that is that we all won out of this. He's won as a patient. Hopefully everybody will go out and get trained in CPR so that you too can save a life someday. And out of all that, everybody can win. And so we really agree with his sentiment that we all won from this.